Today we're going to talk about multiplying and dividing integers. First, let's look at what happens when we multiply or divide two integers that have the same sign. When we have the same sign, which means that both numbers are positive or both numbers are negative, the answer is always positive. When we have two numbers that are both positive, that's not something we ever thought about before because we didn't have negative numbers, so our answers were always positive. So number one kind of looks like a silly example, but 6 times 7 is positive 42 because they are the same sign. In other words, they are both positive numbers. The 6 and the 7 are both positive, so their product is positive. For example, B, the 9 and the 5 are both negative, and since they're the same sign, the answer is positive. And the multiplication hasn't changed at all. So since 9 times 5 is 45, then negative 9 times negative 5 is positive 45. For example C, we have two positives that we're dividing. 27 divided by 3 is 9. And it's positive because they're the same sign. They're both positive numbers. For example, D, those numbers are also the same sign. Negative 24 divided by negative 8, they have the same sign, so the answer is positive. It's positive 3 because 24 divided by 8 is 3. For example, E, we can just multiply like in order from left to right using the order of operations. So negative 3 times positive 4, oh whoops, I copied it wrong. Just a minute. That'll give you a chance to catch up. We have negative 3 times negative 4 times positive 3. So negative 3 times negative 4 is positive 12 because we have two numbers with the same sign. They're both negative, so the product is positive. And then we have the 3 that we're bringing down here. So 12 times 3 is 36, and it's a positive times a positive, so the answer is positive. For example, F, we have an exponent there, x squared. So if x is negative 3, then negative 3 squared means we're doing negative 3 times negative 3. They have the same sign, so the answer is 9. The last question says, are those the same? Negative 9 squared and then negative 9 in parentheses squared. The answer is no, they're not the same. This first one is saying, what is the opposite of 9 squared? Or what is the opposite of 9 times 9? Well, 9 times 9 is 81, and the opposite of that is negative 81. That's different than saying, what is negative 9 times itself twice? Negative 9 times negative 9 is positive 81. So that's the left side of the notes. I'm going to take a minute here and circle my answers in another color. And then we're going to do the other side of the notes, which is what do we do when we multiply or divide numbers that have different signs? So when we say that they have different signs, that means one number is positive and one number is negative. And when we have one positive and one negative, the answer is always negative. The actual multiplication and division is the same. Let me zoom in here. So for A, we have a negative times a positive, which means my answer is negative, and 4 times 9 is 36. The answer is negative 36. For example B, I have one positive and one negative, so my answer is negative, and 5 times 12 is 60, so the answer is negative 60. The same rule applies when we're dividing. If I have a positive divided by a negative, the answer is negative. And 45 divided by 9 is 5. So 45 divided by negative 9 is negative 5. And then negative 28 divided by 4 is negative 7 because we have a negative divided by a positive, and so the answer is negative. Here's an example with an expression where we're going to replace the x and the y with 12 and negative 3. So instead of x, I'm going to write 12, and instead of y, I'm going to write negative 3. So I have a positive divided by a negative. 3 goes into 12 4 times, and a positive divided by a negative is a negative. For example, F, we're going to do that numerator first. Negative 3 times positive 20 is negative 60. And then we're going to divide negative 60 by 15. It goes in 4 times, and a negative divided by a positive is a negative. The last one, solve 2a divided by b if a is negative 2 and b is negative 4. So we'll do 2 times negative 2 divided by negative 4. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4 because we have a positive times a negative. And then negative 4 divided by negative 4 is a positive 1 because the signs are the same. So I'm going to go back through and circle my answers here, and then that'll be the end of the notes on multiplying and dividing integers. Thanks for watching.